Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on the presentation of my paper entitled Risk-Adjusted Return Analysis of Publicly Listed Multi-Finance Company in Indonesia using Sharpe Index Treynor Ratio and Jensen's Alpha. My name is Handitya Syaifuddin Yusuf from Bandung Institute of Technology in Bandung, Indonesia. Today, I will be presenting my paper, including the 4 chapters as follows, starting from introduction, followed with methodology, followed with data analysis, and finally conclusion and recommendation. So let's start with the introduction. In order to achieve a goal, companies would come up with strategies which is commonly found by increasing profit and decreasing loss, which results in sustainability of the company, and it represents its financial health. This financial health is shown by moving stock price. Investors would use the moving stock price in order to forecast and use it as an information in order to gain profit. This graph represents the Indonesia stock composite along with Indonesia finance stock composite. As seen with the dotted lines, the finance stock composite has an upward trend during the 5-year research period of May 2017 until May 2021. However, some dates are marked with notable events. Starting in 2018, US-China trade war impacted excess return of Southeast Asia stock markets from 12% all the way down to minus 7.4%. In April 2019, Indonesian presidential election marked a significant decrease in the Indonesian stock price value. And in September 2019, college student outrage regarding the Omnibus Law impacted significantly and negatively. In March 2020, COVID-19 impacted global stock market, and Indonesian stock market specifically lost over 50% of its value since December 2019. And lastly, in October 2021, although it was impacted negatively in March, their stock price was able to recover and stabilize. Following the introduction, we come to the problem identification of this paper. As seen on the table, there are plenty of different papers which already covered the subjects of either Liquid 45, Indonesia stock composite, or specific companies. However, the industry of multi-finance is rarely found. Following the identified problems, we come to the research question of what is the risk-adjusted return of the publicly listed multi-finance companies in Indonesia? The objective of this research is in order to measure the risk-adjusted return of public multi-finance company in Indonesia and to serve as a source of information for investors or potential investors interested in the publicly listed multi-finance companies to choose the best investment option. The scope of this research is the industry of multi-finance in Indonesia, which has been publicly listed in Indonesian Stock Exchange. Data was acquired from Yahoo Finance and Investing.com, and the period of the research was for 5 years from May 2017 to May 2021. And lastly, the writing structure of this paper was introduction, research methodology, data analysis, and lastly, conclusion and recommendation. Now we enter the methodology chapter. Starting with data collection, weekly closing data for multi-finance subsector of financial sector within Indonesian Stock Exchange consisting of 16 publicly listed multi-finance companies. Since 1st May of 2017 until May 31, 2021, there were 214 trading days. The data for risk-free rate is taken from Bank Indonesia BI 7-day reverse repo rate during the period of study, and all the data used in this research were obtained from Yahoo Finance and Bank Indonesia official website along with Investing.com. In order to start the analysis, historical stock prices needed to be transformed into rate of return. In order to do it, formula of the stock return is as follows. Volatility or standard deviation is found using a formula as in below and will be playing a crucial role for Sharpe Index. Beta is found using a formula as in below, and it will play a crucial role for Treynor ratio and Jensen's alpha. Now we go to the risk-adjusted return measurement, starting with Sharpe Index as follows. Treynor ratio as follows. And lastly, Jensen's alpha as follows. And now we get into the third chapter, which is data analysis. So the analysis result of this paper was being served by a ranking. The narration of the result is that starting with Sharpe index, all 16 companies yielded positive results. All 16 companies are good investment choices and are better than the risk-free instrument based on total risk. For Treynor ratio, only 13 companies yield positive results, which means only 13 companies are good investment choice, and those are better than risk-free instrument based on systematic risk. And lastly, Jensen's alpha, 16 of the 16 companies yielded positive results, and all 16 companies are good investment choice, and they are better than the market. Best performer in this analysis is TIFA Finance Terbuka, or TIFA, which is first in Sharpe index, fourth in Treynor ratio, and second in Jensen's alpha. On the other hand, the worst performer is Celipan Finance Indonesia Terbuka, or CFIN, which is 16th in the Sharpe index, 13th in Treynor ratio, and 16th in Jensen's alpha. And lastly, we head to the conclusion and recommendations. To answer the research question, what is the risk-adjusted return of the publicly listed multi-finance companies? Well, most of the 16 companies yielded positive results. As stated beforehand on discussion, using Sharpe index, all 16 companies are good investment choices and performing better than risk-free instrument per total risk. Using Treynor ratio, 13 of 16 companies are good investment choices and performing better than risk-free instrument per systematic risk. And lastly, using Jensen's alpha, all 16 companies are good investment choices and performing better than the market. The best performing company is TIFA, and the worst performing company is CFIN. Lastly, recommendations for investors and potential investors. They are expected to use the findings of the research as a part of bigger analysis prior to investment. It is wiser to analyze the companies further using different metrics in order to find the best possible investment option. And for future researchers, they should utilize more measurements in order to give a more comprehensive information regarding the risk-adjusted return of publicly listed multi-finance companies in Indonesia. That is all for me. Thank you very much for your patronage. You can find me using my email as stated, and also my WhatsApp number if it is needed, if you want the calculations whatsoever. Goodbye.